my name is Priyanka and welcome to my vlog. Today I'm going to talk about how you can build faith and improve upon your life. Now, what happens to most people is that people rely on other individuals, they rely on their family members or their peers or their guides like teachers to get clarity in life. And to some extent, they do get clarity. It's not that they don't get clarity, but they get clarity from someone else's perspective. And whenever you get clarity from someone else's perspective, what happens is that you are actually, moving on to the direction which someone else has laid down for you. So you start moving away from what really matters to you, what makes you you as an individual. You stop believing in yourself. You start practicing this whole idea of how life should be lived based on someone else's idea of how life should be lived. So you are actually not living life on your own terms. And because you're not living life on your own terms, life is now looking very, very sad, depressed, and not something that you imagined life to be like. And this is where faith comes in, because faith is going to play a very, very major role in this life of yours. And you see it when you fall sick. You see it when your loved ones fall sick, or you are going through some really difficult times, you're going through financial crisis, or you're having really bad breakups. That is when you turn on to God. And isn't it interesting that only when you go through tough times that you turn on to God? Now the question is, why can't you turn on to God when you're going through some really good times? Why can't you build yourself a stable ground on which you can stand? And I'm not talking about literal stable ground, I'm talking about an emotional stable ground where your emotions are absolutely in control, and you were able to recognize the emotional state that you're in, and you're able to overcome those emotional states. In fact, you're able to make better decisions in this life of yours. Most times we try and make decisions when we are very angry, frustrated, irritated, and that is when we realize that we've made a mistake, and we call ourselves fools. We're such fools to have made such a rash decision. And this is where, if we had faith in God, if we had started practicing spirituality, and I say practicing spirituality because what happens is that uh, people think that being spiritual is not fashionable enough. I don't understand who these people are, how they can relate spirituality to fashion. This simply doesn't make any sense, because even to people who do not believe in God, do want to turn up to a higher power when they are going through tough times. So there is no individual on this planet who can say that I am feeling wonderful without really relying on divinity. Um, because they do want to seek help when they're going through tough times. So the idea is that, why don't we become spiritual enough? Why do we have to wait for something wrong to happen in our life to become spiritual? Most times it happens to people that they go through some really tough times, and then they turn inwards, they look at themselves, and they find that divine spark. But if you are someone who's very smart, who wants to take care of their mental health, who wants to make their life better, then this is a suggestion for you. And if you're going through tough times, then definitely you know that you have to seek spiritual guidance. But if you are not going through tough times, let's say you are leading a good life, but still you want to clear up your emotional baggages, you want to overcome negative thinking, it's time for you to turn towards spirituality, because having faith in God is going to propel you towards a state of mind which is at a resting pace. It is not getting perturbed by what someone else is saying. It is not getting perturbed by the outside world, because outside world is very, very chaotic. You will find that there are a lot of people in your life who say things to you that make you feel vulnerable. make you feel sad and depressed. Well, there are certain people who are going through some very, very tough times, financially, or in terms of their relationships not working out, their marriages are breaking, or um, someone is sick in their family. So yes, you do turn on to spirituality. That is, you turn on to the divine source within you, and you want to seek help. So the whole idea that spirituality is not fashionable enough is, I think, for people who are living at a very, very unconscious level, they simply don't want to accept the fact that they need help. So there is a verse in Gita in the fourth chapter which says that one who is always doubting can be neither peaceful in this world nor can attain success on spiritual side. And this is something that you'll find a lot in Gita if you want to really get a meaningful idea about life. So, if you're somebody who has a lot of questions in terms of life, if you want to understand what life is all about, then it's time for you to read the Gita, because I think Gita is the most beautiful book ever being written on this planet. Of course, a lot of us don't want to read Gita because we think that it might not apply in the real world because it was written 5,000 years ago. But that is not true. Those principles still apply in your real life because it was written with a very practical mindset. And this is where you will benefit if you read Gita. And you have to read Gita a few times to actually decipher its meaning. Most of times, we don't want to understand spirituality because we feel that it is meant for someone at a certain age. So if you are in your 60s or 70s, then it's okay. But I feel that spirituality should be taught very, very young, because if you teach your children this whole idea of spirituality, what's going to happen is that they are going to have a control over their own mindset. You cannot control the outside environment. I think that's very, very foolish to say that we can control this world, we can control the outcomes that are taking place in this world. Absolutely not true. The only outcome that you want to control is the outcome of reaction and response that you're doing to this world. So if let's say the world is very chaotic, people around you are very, very chaotic, or you're going through some tough times, isn't it better if you are able to control your own thinking process? So let's say somebody comes and says something to you, and you're already at a tipping point because you've had a very, very tough day. But let's say you have now read Gita, or you've been meditating, you've been sitting in stillness, and you have been connecting with your inner source. Now, this is where the change is going to happen for you. So, the earlier, version of you would have reacted very, very badly to that situation, and now you see that person who's coming at you. You see their emotional state. You know that this person is angry because maybe they've had a very, very bad day, or their home environment is not good. And instead of reacting to that person or to that situation, you are standing very calmly. And because you're standing calmly, now this person has no other option but to you know match up to your energy, and they are also going to calm down after a while, because they're going to see that this person has absolutely not reacting to whatever I'm saying. And now I'm looking like a fool because I'm just shouting, or I'm saying things that should not be said. So this is where spirituality is going to help you a lot. Since that's what spirituality is teaching you. It is teaching you to handle your own emotional response to a situation, and that is the most beautiful part about spirituality, because it teaches you to be absolutely stable. You don't get perturbed by the opinion of others. You don't get excited or angry or irritated. Your emotions are always very, very stable. And even if you do, you're able to control these emotional states. You're able to bring them down to a stable ground very, very fast. You just tell yourself, oh, this is not what you are. This is not what you want to be. You don't want to be that angry, reactive person. You just want to step back and see the situation as it is unfolding. You don't want to partake in that situation. And that is where spirituality teaches you this beautiful trick. I say that, it tricks your mind into thinking that you're always in control of your reactions and responses. So let's understand how we can build faith in our life. See, building a faith in something that you've not seen or heard or felt is very difficult. As a human brain, you are unable to decipher how I can put my entire faith in the divine, and you keep on asking for some sort of proof. You want proof from the divine source. So if you're praying to Shiva or if you're praying to Krishna, you always ask Shiva, Krishna, please show yourself. Please show me that, things are going to work out for me. Do this for me. Do that for me. So you're like a petulant child who's never understood the whole concept of divinity, has never understood the concept of prayers or mantras, and you just simply want to sit there and just whine like a small little baby. And if you see a baby, sometimes when the baby is crying, the mother will know that's crying just for attention, and sometimes the mother will just look from a distance and not really coddle the child because she knows that the child has to learn how to crawl. What divine is doing, the divine is letting you be that child who's just crying in a corner, and you have to stop that crying part. You have to stop asking for things that are absolutely ridiculous, because now a lot of people are creating these videos and concepts about manifestation. So it's entire whole genre there where people just talk about affirmations and manifestations, and they say, if you say this will happen to you. What you really are not understanding is, and to a large part these people are not also understanding, is that affirmations are actually a way of changing your thinking. They are changing your mindset. They are not changing the energy around you. They are not you're not able to just say to the universe, okay, tomorrow, God, I want a Lamborghini in my garage, and I really want to see that, and by end of 6 months I'm going to have a Lamborghini standing in my garage. So that's a way in which you don't understand manifestation. It is just how you are changing your mindset. So till now you were saying, I'm unable to do that. I'm not grateful for the life that I have. I'm not really looking forward to this life, or life is very tough for me. Now you are waking up and saying some wonderful things about your life. So I'm very grateful for this life. Because you've become grateful, what you're doing is you're removing all the negative aspects of your life. You are no longer focusing on the negative aspects. So you're no longer fearing things, you're no longer getting anxiety and stress. And because you're not bothered about the negative aspects of your life, and because you're not spending time and energy wasting on those negative aspects, you are now pushing yourself to do actionable things so that Lamborghini can come into your garage in 6 months' time. But then you have to wake up every day and work towards it. It cannot happen by you just sitting there and asking the divine to, gift you a Lamborghini. And unless you're very, very rich, then that manifestation in itself has already happened. But if you're somebody who doesn't have access to so much of money and is just wishing for it, then you have to work towards it. Nothing comes easy in life. You have to work towards it. You have to understand that the divine is going to give you a lot of opportunities in this life of yours. You're going to get a lot of opportunities doing, the things that you want to do. But you're the one who's rejecting these opportunities. You're the one who's saying, I cannot do this. I don't have faith in myself. I don't have that confidence in myself. And that is where the shift has to happen, because the moment you start becoming spiritual, the moment you start believing in the divinity that is within you, first of all, everybody has a divine spark within them, but you have not lighted that spark. It's just sitting idle. So you have to light that diya in you. You have to light that lamp in you to understand that you are the only source that you've been looking for, once you understand that you are the source of everything in this life, that you can create the life that you want, things will move for you, things will shift for you. So this is what spirituality teaches you. It teaches you to start having faith in that divinity within you. You know you've been backed up. You know you have the most amazing source, the divine source right within you. So whatever you're asking is going to come because you are now having faith in yourself. So you're waking up every day and you're working hard towards your goals. And once you do that, once you start working towards your goals, things will move. But things are not going to move if you're just going to sit there and then, try all those affirmations as much as you want. And things cannot manifest unless you are backing them by action. And this is where the gap is happening now. There's a big gap because you've been asking so many things and then those things are not coming your way, but you're really not paying attention to the action part. You're not paying attention to yourself. And because of that gap, you're now starting to blame God in itself. And you tell yourself, God has not been kind to me. God doesn't love me. You start repeating these silly phrases in that mind of yours. No, let me ask you, if you had entire universe to look after, would you be bothered about a small little human being living in a small little planet, like a speck of dust saying something about you, that you are out there to get them? So, what is not out there to get you? Just because you start comparing your life with others, that this person has more than me, this person is living a better life than me. Yes, because of their thought process and because of their karmic debt and because of the actions that they've been taking in this life of theirs. To, you don't want to feed the homeless, or you don't want to give 10 rupees to somebody who's in need of it today, things are going to come back for you, isn't it? Because everything has its own energy source, and if you are not exchanging the right energy with people, you are just going to get whatever you are giving to them. So if you're giving them this whole idea that, I am going to have my money and I'm not going to give it to people who are in need of it. Let's say you have a lot of old clothes lying in that house of yours, you've collected them, especially for people who collect a lot of children's clothes. Please go and give them to the needy children. Your children have grown up. You are just taking those old clothes and those uh, Almira beds of yours, those beds with those cupboards under them, and you're just having a lot of junk in your home. So give away. Uh, Try and donate your old clothes to, especially for children. I think they grow up very fast. So most of the clothes are actually in very good condition, especially when winter is coming. So, jackets and sweaters and winter clothing is so essential for children who cannot afford such winter clothing. So you can give away those clothes, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to, share any part of your life with somebody else. You don't want to give, because although you have so much in life, God has been very, very grateful and kind to you, but you don't want to, spread that kindness. You don't want to be kind to people in terms of your words and actions. You speak such harsh words. You pass so much of judgment onto people. And to have faith in divinity is to get detached to the results. You ask for something, you work hard for it, and then you let it go. You do not pay attention to what is coming your way and not coming your way. You don't do any hisab kitab, There is no hisab kitab with the divine source. There is nothing like that. And if you're doing it, then divinity is not for you, spirituality is not for you, because what you have to do is you have to surrender yourself to the divine power. Once you surrender yourself to the divine power, you will find your life turning out to be really good, because you are now experiencing that energy field. And the best way to experience it is, if you want to, is to sit in stillness. And I say it because I've been practicing meditation for quite a few years now, and calm down that mind of yours that's always overthinking, that's always creating negative thought process. And if you want to really enjoy this life of yours, and you want to break the shackles or the prison that you have built for yourself, that prison in this mind of yours that you've built, which says that nothing is possible, things are not going the right way, I am nobody, I'm worthless, I'm a loser. All these things that you keep saying about yourself, all of these things will just simply wash away and you will start believing in yourself. This is what spirituality is teaching you. It is teaching you to start believing in yourself. And once you start believing in yourself, your life is going to become better. With this, I'm going to end my vlog. And if you like my vlog, do like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. And thank you for watching and see you in the next one.